And now, here to preview and predict this weekend's Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and NXT Stand and Deliver, here is your host, the West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
And I'm on camera because I fucked up. Here we go. We're starting already, kids. Here we go. Welcome to this very special presentation on the Jeff Meacham Network, on our Facebooks, on our Twitter, as well as the Constantine Studios. And we'll get to that guy in just a minute. But we are here to predict Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and NXT Stand and Deliver. Friday night, of course, Saturday morning for us West Coast people because WWE hates us clearly. But I'm not alone today. I'm not going to be talking out of my own ass. Oh, no, I got 4 asses talking out today, kids. That's right. And we're starting off with a man who literally just did the thing over on the No DQ side of things. And not only did I get my plug in, he gave us a plug, which we appreciate oh so much here on the Jeff Meacham Network. He is our buddy. He is just a simple man. He's been a lifelong fan, and he is our commentary lead. Noah Foster, my friend, how are you tonight?
Hello, Jeff. I'm doing very well and looking forward to talking once again more about that Stand and Deliver live premium event in a different way, I'm sure. But definitely very hyped to talk about the resurgence of Ring of Honor now under Tony Khan's guidance and booking. So this is going to be a very interesting weekend with these 2 shows and so much more to say the least. Great to see and talk with you about them.
Great to have you on, my friend. It's wonderful to have you aboard for this crazy bit we're going to do, and we will we'll bring you back in momentarily once we get everybody underway here. So let's go ahead and talk about the next guy who we don't get to see a whole lot, unfortunately, because I'm an asshole and don't do open mic night every other week like I said I would. So we don't get to see a lot of this guy, but we're going to have a whole schedule restructure coming at WrestleMania where we're going to get into actually Sunday night. We're going to talk all about that and how the schedule will lay out between April 4th and the rest of 2022. But in the meantime, he's here. He's actually going to talk about WWE product tonight, which, stand by, kids, and Ring of Honor, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our buddy James Hebert. James, it's always good to see you on my shows, my friend. How are you tonight?
What? We're talking about Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. We're getting Mountain Dew. You got gin and Coke. What?
Jack and Coke, bro. You gotta love that shit. Good stuff. Good stuff. But
yeah,
yes.
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm gonna be talking about WWE product, modern day WWE product. And Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, which I am highly looking forward to. I can't wait. I cannot wait to talk about this card. It's already looking stacked. They got Wheeler Yuta going into a pure match, which is so good for the story they're telling on AEW. Cannot fucking wait for that match. The Bandito and Gresham, obviously, everybody's gonna. I think that's gonna be a match for the ages. And you got I don't know what the hell is going on in NXT, but you got Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler probably could put on a good match. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, there is a Hall of Fame pedigree in that main event. I'm not talking about Dolph Ziggler, at least not this time. So we'll get to that.
No, not this time.
Yeah, so thank you, James. We'll bring you back in once we're done giving the Renegade the hype that he's been plugging for a whole weekend because he's driving me crazy. Here now to reveal the very first purchase he's made at www.shop.com. He is my co-host on Dads. We are co-hosts together on Dads. He is on Ask the Dads. He's on everything with me, it feels like. He is one of my oldest and dearest friends. He is the Renegade today of wrestling, JJ Williams. All right, Jay. What did you actually put money in on Connecticut? Oh, look at that. That's right, baby. There you go. I dig it. And you know why that's awesome? Because that's one of our boys. We love that shit. Good job. Nicely done.
I told you, dude, if you really buckled down and thought, you probably could have figured it out.
True enough.
Why else would I want to debut it tonight when we're talking about NXT Stand and Deliver as opposed to Thursday when we're talking about WrestleMania proper?
Right. Because it doesn't matter if you're at the Anaheim Marketplace. It doesn't matter if you're at Hollywood. It doesn't matter if you're at Impact Wrestling. It doesn't matter if you're at NXT. Whose show is it? It is LA Knight. That's right. So there you go. All right, let's bring everybody else back in because I know everybody in this room loves LA Knight / Sean Ricker / Eli Drake. We love that guy. So that's our boy.
Let me talk to you.
All right.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you,
Yeah.
half schlap.
Let me holler at you, player. Oh, wait.
Why
Sorry.
Tag team match. We're going to have a 3-on-1 handicap match, player. It's going to be you, Kurt Angle, against The Undertaker. And I'm in a handicap match. Who are the other two partners? Kane and Sid Vicious, player.
No.
I thought you were going to say the American Badass and Big Evil.
Vince, I have a bad neck. Do something. I can't do anything.
Go metal with a broken freaking neck.
That's right. The other two partners are Brian Lee and Glenn Jacobs. If you don't know what that means, get the hell out of here. Anyway. There you go. All right. But yes, James mentioned it. Noah mentioned it. We have the return, the resurgence, the reimagining, maybe. We'll see how Tony says, of Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is something that in everybody in this room's way is near and dear to our hearts. JJ and I have the opportunity to see a lot of guys you see in Ring of Honor now, back when they were cutting their teeth on the SoCal Indies, or whether they were coming through here on a whim going into the PWG territory. It's a pleasure to see these guys get the proper showcase they have now. You know, we're not officially going to talk about Impact tonight, but they also have a show Friday night before Ring of Honor goes on. We'll briefly hit on that a little bit later on because we know after last night talking about it, Jay, our buddy Willie Mack is on there, and Willie Mack being on a pay-per-view on a Friday night WrestleMania weekend is just like right here in the field.
So. I actually have news about that. I actually have news about that, Jeff. Oh wait, let me get my impression out here. So you are a fan of Willie Mack. However, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
All right, bad news, Foster. What's up?
You see, recently, it has now been confirmed he's been replaced by All Heart Blake Christian, and I don't have further details for you now. So unfortunately, if you thought Willie Mack had a chance to become the next X Division champion, you're going to have to wait a little longer, and I'm sorry to have doubts, to have added disappointment, but that is sometimes what we face as fans of pro wrestling. Now you may go on. Thank you very much.
Well, in that case, we're not covering Impact. The hell with that show. Anyway.
Oh, no!
Well, don't worry, James. I'll just do this real quick. Hey, folks, cheap plug. Stay tuned for the simple and powerful duo where me and Jerry Impact discuss, preview, and predict the multiverse of matches where Bullet Club, NWA, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Noah, and Impact Wrestling all collide underneath one roof. Thank you very much. And we will do that panel this Friday. Time to be determined, but stay tuned to my simple YouTube channel for further details on that. I cannot wait for this show.
There you go. It is a stack card. Impact and everybody is throwing some shit at us. I'm not gonna lie. They're throwing some major stuff our way. So good on them. Yeah. It just sucks that Willie's hurt. That's a bummer. So if he is hurt, we don't know the details. So if he's hurt, that's a bummer. If they just took him out, piss on them. Anyway,
because Willie is family to me and Jeff. We talked about that yesterday on Ask the Dads.
I remember that conversation before the Royal Rumble talk. I remember that.
Yeah. So.
I'm going to try and get more details while you continue the spiel.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump in here. You know, JJ talking about not being quite in the deep end of wrestling back end, but we're going to go ahead and jump in, you know, all the way in the deep end of Ring of Honor because I haven't been able to watch a whole lot either, but I know Noah and James are more versed on it than I am. So we can definitely get at least some opinions on what is, you know, a big match now as far as the mainstream community, in that we have Swerve, who is just signed with AEW and is under that umbrella, is going to be taking on our boy Zayn here. Going to be a interesting, not really for titles, obviously, because there's no championships in this match, but you know both these guys are out for nothing but ego and pride here. So let me throw to Noah first, since he's our lead play-by-play guy and can give us all the deets, if you will. Noah, where are we at with this match? What's going on as we go into Friday night with these two?
Well, so far, Alex saying he's been doing his own thing across the indies. I think he recently was involved in AEW Strong, and then whose house? It's been Swerve's house in AEW Rampage, recently contending against Absolute Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship. So these two are definitely out, like you said, for all the pride and all the ego, and definitely I feel like to send a statement maybe to the Ring of Honor champion to claim that Ring of Honor is their house. One's got the sauce, the other's got the swag. We'll see who has the better in-ring game come bell to bell soon enough. This is going to be a hell of a match.
James, where are your thoughts on this one? Again, you've got two guys who, at least with Swerve, you got a guy who just did not get where WWE NXT faithful thought he should have gone, and now he's on the other side.
Yeah,
he's free. Anyway.
Yeah, which is funny because when you mentioned that, Swerve, to me, as a fan of Swerve Scott, or now as he's back to being Shane Swerve Strickland, baby, he's doing probably some of the best in-ring work of his career because he's not pigeonholed to a cruiserweight division. Not that it needed to be a pigeonholed division, but that's exactly how they treated it. But yeah, I'm glad he's out of there now and he's getting in the match with Zayn. I don't know much about the history between the two guys, but I see the names on the card, and I already expect the banger. I know what Zayn is capable of. I know what Swerve's capable of. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
So you two being the Ring of Honor experts, who do you guys seeing coming out with a victory here based on what's been going on in the Indies and AEW lately?
Well, considering that this, again, is the first show under the booking of Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, and you look at most of these match setups, it's AEW versus, well, the Open Indies. You're really going to see who's going to lay the groundwork in Tony Khan's rebuilding roster of Ring of Honor. And right now, this one's really hard. It could go either way. But thinking about who would be more consistent here, and I know Zayn's been taking other dates and bookings as well, I think Swerve's going to pull it out here. I got Swerve taking this.
Yeah, Swerve as well. I'm with Noah on that just because Swerve, I think they're going to make him a big deal in AEW as the Ring of Honor guy or one of the Ring of Honor guys, and I feel like he's going to be the catalyst that jumps both the AEW and the Ring of Honor and all the other independents, and that's going to be kind of, I'm not saying Zayn won't, but I think there's going to be more profile with Swerve there. So I got him winning
it. And again, JJ, I know you're not familiar with either of these guys, but I know you've seen Swerve, at least if you watch AEW the last couple of weeks. I know you kind of pop it on AEW when the roommates turn it on. So, but you haven't been watching NXT. At least you've been watching lately. I don't know exactly when Strickland left, but I for one think that they're going to go with Swerve personally, just because of the recent signing with AEW and the whole momentum that he's had going into this weekend. But that's just the opinion of the host. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to go with Swerve too, making it unanimous, mainly because it's the only name out of these two that I even recognize. Like you guys touched on, like Noah and James touched on, it's like the fact that it's basically AEW versus the Open Indies. I think we're going to see on Friday how Tony Khan is going to start thinning out some of the mass signings that he's done in the past year by using some of his guys to help fuel this new Ring of Honor that he's got.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was him, honestly.
You have a whole other product that you absolutely can fill an entire roster with. And there's no doubt in my mind that, like, you could absolutely do that with the Ring of Honor. And there's tons of people, too, like Dark. Like, he already uses Dark as that anyway, but that's more of like B-level indies, where it's not B-level indies. This is A-level indies that you can use for this show here. So I think you're going to get a very good mix of what Tony has and what is on the outside indies and who to bring in to be the best. And he's going to make it a pure wrestling company. That's another thing. Like, if you follow that logic, there's an entertainment company and there's a pure wrestling company. He is going to treat this like a pure wrestling company. He is not going to stray away from that. So he's only going to get the very best talent in the world. And that's going to be in a weird roundabout way. It's going to be kind of a developmental for Tony Khan's AEW, because the wrestling, they're going to fight the very best in the world. that now all you have to do is really put a gimmick on the best wrestler in the world, and they're a megastar. It's a really good formula. It's a really good formula. That
you got the professional development, and then you have the personality enhancement, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It's a win-win for everybody.
So off the top, actually, I meant to bring this up before we started the card thing, but since it kind of got woven into the fabric of the conversation, I appreciate that everybody. I love the flow of the conversation. I always do on these shows with you guys. Do you think Ring of Honor is going to become nothing more than a glorified developmental under Tony's leadership? JJ,
no, it's going to be a long.
Don't.
JJ, what do you think about that? God, everybody needs to listen.
I think it might start out that way with the way that I was suggesting that Tony's going to start filtering some of the excess names over there. But once he's made his decision about who's going to be his Ring of Honor roster, then I think it'll move immediately to the next level. But I think for at least the first couple months while he's trying to put all the pieces in the right place, then yeah, it's very much going to be developmental.
If I may add to your point as well, JJ, let's be real. I mean, Ring of Honor has been a developmental for the rest of the wrestling landscape as we know it. Without Ring of Honor, you don't see the wrestling you see today.
Agreed.
And that's the truth.
I mean, basically PWG out here was Ring of Honor West Coast. For years. And I know that I may catch hell for PWG faithful for saying that, but it very much was ROH West, because you looked at the guys we would bring in, and aside from our SoCal homegrown talent, we were getting Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards, Kevin Steen, El Generico, Kings of Wrestling.
Yep.
And then, of course, we had the TNA fly-ins, too, for a while. AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Sabin and Shelley, P.D. Williams.
The list goes on and on. It's like
we had James Gibson while he was ROH champion, I think. So
Ring of Honor has been, in a way, a breeding ground for the rest of the professional wrestling industry to thrive and grow from. A lot is owed back to what Ring of Honor started, and now Tony Khan's going to build a new foundation based on those principles still. And that's why we can really feel comfortable in the future of not only Ring of Honor, but professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
Here. I'll toast to that.
Absolutely. And by the way, just to end that little discussion, yes, could it be developmental? Absolutely. Does that make it a bad thing in this case?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I really don't.
Because there's people that would say prior to the rebranding of NXT, even though it was developmental, was the best show WWE was putting out.
Absolutely.
And I'm one of those.
And without Ring of Honor, NXT,
with the exception of what Roman was doing on SmackDown, which is a segment of a 2-hour show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So there's no harm in a developmental being the best show for your company either.
No,
absolutely.
So, before we go on to the next the next question, our buddy Dwayne was late for the big reveal. So JJ, show him the big reveal. There it is, right there. I'm going to give you a solo thing, just for Dwayne here, since people can't be on time. He must live in LA too. Anyway, so there it is. It's LA Knight show. That's right. LA Knight is on the back of JJ, as he should be. That's our boy Sean Ricker, Eli Drake, LA Knight. We love him. Awesome stuff.
Yes.
Great times.
The last talent signed by Percy Pringle to be managed by Percy prior to Percy's untimely death.
That's it.
By the way, we got a super chat.
We do have a super chat, and we will go ahead and address that after we address the main event of this, because it is about the Ring of Honor World Championship. So we'll definitely go ahead and get to that later on. I was try to get this thing to load here, but
we will not forget you, Dwayne. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes. Thank you, Dwayne. Yes, again. So the next match, a little bit more about the participants involved, at least one of them, because we've seen him on the regular on our TVs for well over a decade. But the other gentleman involved in the match is accompanied by Matt Seidel apparently this weekend. It is Lee Moriarty going up against arguably the franchise of Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal.
Dude. Oh my God.
See, I'm going to jump in right here.
So
this
I'll
one I
start
think
with
is going to
JJ
go to
this
Jay
time.
Lethal.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. I think we're on a delay, by the way. I think all of us are on a delay out of nowhere, by the way. I think that's just fucking.
Yeah, we're having a major systems pass here. So I'll go ahead and you guys go ahead and talk about this match while I reboot on my end. Maybe it's just me, but you guys go ahead and talk about this match. Feel free to I mean, JJ, if you want to elaborate more on Lethal, go ahead. If not, Noah and James, pick it up. I'll be back momentarily.
Yeah, go for it, JJ. You were gonna.
JJ, you first on this one, man. Give us your thoughts.
I was just going to go and continue to piggyback on what Jeff was saying. Like, you want to talk about somebody from the current crop that doesn't have the name Briscoe, that epitomizes Reign of Honor, Jay Lethal is your man.
Damn right.
This is one of the few matches I see going that I know of in the indie/ROH faithful non-AEW way for the pendulum. You know, if Jay Lethal doesn't win, the ROH faithful are going to riot.
And that's fair. I would agree with you. I think Lethal does have to win, but keep in mind that Moriarty. I don't think they'll be too mad if Moriarty pulls out the victory. I'm not saying he will. I agree with you, but I do believe that Lee Moriarty, if he were to pull out the win, I don't think that's a bad idea because Lee Moriarty has a very technical style that fits in like a glove in Ring of Honor. Absolutely like a glove. Tyga style all day, every day. This guy is one of the best technicians on the goddamn planet right now. You don't get mentioned by Bryan frickin' Danielson and not be a great professional wrestler. That just doesn't happen. So
that's fair.
Keep that in mind as well. I think this is definitely gonna be, if not match of the night, at least second match of the night. Because I think Bandito and Jonathan Gresham will surprise some people. But this could be match of the night. If that doesn't live up to it, you never know. It is wrestling. But I absolutely see these two just tearing the fucking house down.
Noah, what do you think?
You have one of the foundations of Ring of Honor in Jay Lethal, who held the Ring of Honor World Championship with incredible pride and proudness for, I feel like, maybe the most days overall. And then you have one of the bright, young up-and-comers of this industry. Came from the Indies, signed AEW, now under the mentorship of Lee Moriarty, already endorsed by the likes of Bryan Danielson. Lee Moriarty has a technical style all of his own. Again, I saw this guy get his contract live when he took on Daniel Garcia one-on-one on AEW Dark Elevation. With Lethal recently talking about he needs to do some thinking. Oh, he's thinking. And right now, again, he is the foundation. He is Ring of Honor. This is literally a match of mentorship and guiding the future. You not necessarily look at the result here. You look at what is to be presented. This is Ring of Honor. This is where you know honor is real. Lee Moriarty is a future candidate, in my opinion, to be a pure wrestling champion in Ring of Honor. This is going to be a tremendous match, but you got to look at the experience, and you got to give the dupe to Jay Lethal. Again, he's had over 20 years of professional wrestling experience. So while the result may seem obvious, I feel what you're going to get is certainly going to surprise you, especially for those that don't know Lee Moriarty. This is an eye-opening match, to say the least, for a lot of new faces.
I don't know Moriarty. I'm 100% honest about that. I kind of wish it was Matt Sydal in the role because, you know, seeing Matt out here and then obviously his run as Evan Bourne, I'd love to see him be highlighted and featured as opposed to just being the corner man. Mm-hmm. But I know Jay Lethal is one of those guys that could wrestle a mop and the mop will get a Hall of Fame induction based off of his match with Jay Lethal alone. So I know whoever steps in the ring across from Lethal is going to, whether it's on their own merit or him carrying them, it's going to be a hell of a match. So I look forward to going back and seeing this once I'm done with the main event of the weekend and going back and revisiting all these matches and really getting familiar with some of these guys.
As much as you say that, because I understand the whole star appeal thing, I think you're gonna say I was wrong about Moriarty. He was the perfect choice. I'm telling you, when you see this guy in the ring, JJ, you are going to be fucking floored. You'll honestly think it's gonna be like he's fighting another Jay Lethal. That's how good this guy is. I'm not even capping.
So it's basically a mirror match, you're saying?
It really is. That's why a lot of people are excited about this match. Lee Moriarty is a great match specialist, and you add that with Jay Lethal's ability, and they both can fly too when needed. They are very good hybrid wrestlers, and I think that's what's going to make this match a standout on this card. 100%.
Without
Jeff,
question.
Jeff, are you back?
I'm working on it. So apparently it's just going to be one of those days, like it always is when I try to do shit like this. But that's okay.
All right, well, everyone has given their thoughts about this match except you. So if you're back, go ahead and throw your 2 cents in.
So I love this whole match. I've been a fan of Jay Lethal from the beginning, and that audio thing is that avatar's horrible because I'm not the champion anymore. So just give me a second here. Anyway. So it's just one of those where I know. Okay, you stop drinking. I don't know a lot about Moriarty, much like JJ, other than the fact that I know he's a damn good wrestler, and I know he's got Matt Sydal at his side, which is never a bad thing for anybody to have. So I honestly have to go with Jay, partly because of the name recognition, but at the same time, we talked about Tony, trying to get this company built up under his name and trying to have new things established. And what better way to establish a new or fresh talent than to beat the freaking face of the company for so many years in Jay Lethal? So my official prediction is Lee Moriarty, but I would not be surprised at either result here.
I can see a Matt game in the end and just a flash, because all it takes to win, again, is just 3 seconds. These two are going to pull out everything possible to literally trap the other person. So if there's an upset throughout this night, which I expect there will at least be something, Lee Moriarty very well could be that.
I think another thing as well is you also got to put this in perspective. If these guys are as good as we say they are, and they are, trust me, I absolutely can expect a photo finish. No doubt.
There you go.
So.
And yes, Jay's always been underrated, Walter, for the record. And Walter also believes Noah's a busy dude. Like I said, he came fresh off no DQ. So God bless Noah for pulling already double duty tonight. We love this guy. And it's going to be a busy week for him between the Predictions League over on no DQ and calling 3 nights of action for us. God bless you, man. We love
the workhorse covering Ring of Honor? Gee, where have I heard that one before?
Right?
Oh, you think that's crazy, Jeff? I'm doing a no DQ Galaxy predictions panel for WrestleMania NXT at 10:15 tonight. Live.
God bless you, man. That's it.
Lord.
Oh, and stay tuned, James. Remember, tomorrow during AEW Dynamite, we're doing a recording.
Yeah, I know.
Live,
you told me.
in ATW View.
It is. It is the night that never ends. That's right. That's how it goes.
Pro wrestling doesn't rest, and neither do I.
Especially in late March, early April. It kind of is what it is, folks.
Oh yeah.
It's WrestleMania weekend. Everything's under the sun in one weekend.
That's it.
It is our Super Bowl.
It is.
Damn right.
It really is. And there you go. Noah, Mr. No Days Off.
It's like I told Jeff, if I was to get asked a question based on a huge celebration, what are you going to do? I'm not going to say I'm going to Disneyland. I'm going to say I'm going to WrestleCon, and I really hope to do that next year.
Well, we'd love to have you WrestleCon out here because it's in Los Angeles. So we'll definitely
according to Twitter, it says LA.
It does. It says LA. Now, granted, the stadium's in Inglewood, of course, but we all know, where the marketing's going to be because most of the other events are going to be at Crypto.com Arena, so it's going to be in LA.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been out to anywhere in California, but again, figure that down the line. Anyway,
before we get to the next match, do we want? I want to actually talk about David Ben's comments as we kind of covered it in the Lee and Jay match. The question, since ROH, I'll read it as you try to get it. Question: since ROH released all their talents before the TK buyout, do you guys see Supercard of Honor basically as a out with the old, in with the new? Even similar to how War Games was this year for NXT, possibly the Briscoes' final show in Ring of Honor. We'll get to the Ring of I'm going to hold off on the Briscoes thing because I got something to say about it when we get to the match in a freaking minute. But as far as the rest of your question, this is what I think. Yes and no. I think here's the thing. You got to remember who was the first champion for AEW. Chris Jericho.
Yep.
He got an established name to get people to check out All Elite Wrestling. And I guarantee you he's probably thinking about putting the belt on Punk so that way he can get an established name to drop the belt to MJF to make him an even bigger star.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tony is very smart, and I don't think he's, if there's one thing that he's not, it's, a bad promoter. And he knows what he has when he has it in front of him. So I don't think it's as black and white as that. I think you're going to see some new guys go over. I think you're going to see some veterans of ROH go over. I think it's going to be a very even bag by the end of the day.
I like the fact they're having MJF be on social media out there criticizing AEW booking and praising WWE. It very, very much easily bleeds into him being the new face of Ring of Honor. It just works. It does.
Mm-hmm.
So
it does.
He's playing the game. He's literally working the industry.
Which is what makes him so damn good. I'm so glad he's a fan because I love Max. I just fucking do. Anyway, so the next match is actually for the interim Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Of course, we saw in the graphic earlier that we were talking about with Noah. Deonna Purrazzo is going to be working for Impact Friday night, and she is the reigning Ring of Honor Women's Champion. So in the interim, we have two incredible talents lined up to battle for the interim championship, and I got it to work. I'm so proud of my goddamn self.
Hey, way to go, Jeff! Oh, this is gonna be good.
So we've got, and again, the name, the one name escapes me. So Noah, we have Mercedes Martinez, obviously. Willow, I forget her first or last. Help me out here, brother. I'm sorry.
You are looking at Willow Nightingale, the last challenger to the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, to the former Women's World Champion, Roxy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so if Roxy's most recent champion, of course, we all know Roxy signed with WWE. So
all the best to the Prodigy.
Oh, definitely. I am ecstatic for Roxy. She more than deserves it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully they don't botch her being booked like they've done every other damn person. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. However, Mercedes Martinez, she's been kind of the, not to put my own shit over, but the jack of all trades. She's been everywhere here lately. She was in WWE as recently as earlier this calendar year, if not late last year. Then she's been in AEW, and she's been through Impact. She's going to be on Ring of Honor Friday. Mercedes has been around a long damn time. I don't know if people are aware. If they're only aware of her from the Mae Young Classic, you have done yourself a disservice as a Mercedes Martinez fan. This chick can go. And I am here to see her battle Deonna Purrazzo for the Undisputed Championship. So that's my official pick. Just because Mercedes, if anybody in the indies / peripheral roster of a major company deserves to have a run with a major women's world championship, it is Mercedes friggin' Martinez. So even if it is an interim title, put that shit on her and let her and Deonna just go freaking back.
I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you all the way. Mercedes all the way. You have to give the belt to her. I want Mercedes and Deonna as a match, and I want her leading the charge for the women's division, especially considering the fact you're going to have people checking her out that have seen her on AEW as of recently, fighting with Thunder Rosa, which is a hell of a freaking no DQ match. So my recommendation, put the belt on Mercedes and definitely make her at least interim women's world champion currently.
There you go. Noah, where do you stand on this one, boss?
I got to go with the veteran here, the journey woman. Again, like you said, she's done it all. I still remember one of my standout matches is her against Tessa Blanchard's 75-minute Iron Woman match from Rise. For those that don't know, support women's professional wrestling promotions. Willow Nightingale, though, she brings a lot to the game, a lot of power. I know she formerly challenged for the title here, and this is an interim thing, so you would think, okay, she's more driven, she's been here before. I'm not sure if she's been in the ring against Mercedes Martinez anywhere else, but I look at what's ahead, and that is the Virtuosa, a wrestler on a whole nother level in this industry when it comes to confidence and technical prowess. She truly is one of a kind, standard above so many. And right now I look at the bigger match on the marquee, whether it's the next Ring of Honor event or even Rebellion. I gotta see Mercedes Martinez go round 2, one-on-one with Deonna Purrazzo, this time for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, as Deonna corrected me. So I have Mercedes going over here too, but again, Willow Nightingale, she brings a lot of power to the dance here. She's not going to be easy to overcome, and I would not count her out.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
JJ.
Yeah, again, we all know I don't know a whole lot about Willow. Mercedes Martinez is a name that I have heard. I've seen her perform before. We've mentioned it a couple times here. If you're going to try to look at this as a way to relaunch the brand, then you want that name draw. You want that marquee matchup. And if the marquee, what's going to be the better draw down the line? Willow and Deonna, or Mercedes and Deonna? So you got to go Mercedes here.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, that isn't a knock on Willow, because like you said, she challenged Roxy and gave her a run for her friggin' money. So it comes down to the mainstream is the key here, and that's just the way the world works, my friends. So
that's the way entertainment works in general. That's the way sports works in general. I mean, especially combat sports, like what's going to sell more, the marquee will sell more,
That's business. That's business. Again, in one, you have the marquee names. In the other, you might have a sleeper. But right now, when you're establishing the groundwork, the foundation of this redefined roster,
pun intended.
You got to go with the marquee name. And right here, Mercedes Martinez, she's not only a marquee name, she deserves this, in my opinion.
And again, you mentioned earlier. Let me see real quick. I need to do that. Thank you very much. That's what I want to do. You mentioned earlier, something about combat sports. There's a point there in the chat room of, this match should have just been number one contenders match, in my opinion. But, they're trying to make it like MMA, where if the champion's not available, they have an interim champion crown, and then we have undisputed down the line. That way it means more.
And by the titles at Rebellion.
And by the way, the first person to freaking do this in professional wrestling right was Tony Khan. He did it with Sammy Guevara for the TNT title, and it meant a lot more. And the match for the belt was freaking stellar.
I saw it live, him and Cody, that ladder match at Beach Break. My God!
And now keep this in mind, right? UFC's been doing this for years. Look at Conor McGregor's first title run. It was a undisputed title match between him and Jose Aldo, I believe. And that was gangbuster business. It made Conor McGregor the star he is today. Without that being an undisputed championship match, Conor McGregor is not the star that he is today. Now, I'm not saying that's on the same level, but the way they're presenting it is of that importance. That is what they're doing here.
Presentation is key.
Agreed.
It works.
Presentation is key.
Is everything in this world, kids, and I do mean everything. So, and by the way, Noah, you mentioned, maybe Undisputed Championship match at Rebellion. Yeah, we're covering that on this channel. We got predictions on Friday the 22nd and full coverage the 23rd. So be back here for that at the end of the month, kids. All right. So the next one we're going to be covering is going to be something that has been built up quite nicely, and I do mean quite nicely, over at AEW television, and that is for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Let me go ahead and get the names right, because I don't want to sound like a schmuck, because I do that quite often when I'm drinking. Josh Woods, of course, the champion. We've seen Josh Woods be just what he is marketed as, a pure wrestler. And then you've got Wheeler Yuta, who has been just the subject of William Regal's wrath here the last week or two. And you know what? If he's getting lined up to be the pure champion, I can't think of anybody that muckerfucking worse than William Regal, because he'll straighten his shit out for sure. So I'm here for that, and that's why I'm going to sit here and right now call Wheeler Yuta as the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
I agree.
James,
with
am
you.
I off the base there?
You are not at all, my friend, and I'll tell you exactly why. For those who don't know Wheeler Yuta, because you've only seen him in The Best Friends, I'm going to tell you right now, Wheeler Yuta, again, was another name mentioned by Bryan Danielson. And now that we know what we know, there may not be a faction between Yuta and Moriarty and Garcia. That's obvious now, but boy, oh boy, we know why he mentioned those names. Wheeler Yuta, if you have not seen his matches on the Independents, is one of the most technical young wrestling upstarts in the history of pro wrestling. And he could give Kurt Angle in his prime a run for his money. That's how good this goddamn guy is. Wheeler Yuta is going to be the pure champion, and and this is going to further the story tremendously with him joining up with Danielson and Mox. I absolutely could see that bleeding in on television. Absolutely. And perfect person in Josh Woods. Josh Woods, who's no slouch in his own right, is a freaking technical marvel. Like this match alone, if you are just a fan of pure wrestling and you don't like the sports entertainment gaga, which I understand, I personally like it all if it's done right.
Right.
You can't get any better than this, man. Like Josh Woods and Wheeler Yuta could steal the show. Like a lot of people say Lee Moriarty and Jay Lethal for obvious reasons and the names involved there, but this could really freaking take a lot of people by surprise.
Well, as we found out on our Trivia Challenge not too long ago, Jay Lethal's the only guy to win every championship, including the Pure Championship. So we'll probably see a very pure type match between Moriarty and Lethal, which will just be. Pardon me if I fall out of my chair while Noah and James are calling this match out of sheer oh my god, out of the mastery of it all. But this one too will be something to behold. I do have a question, and I want Noah to answer it because he can answer it better than I can. I've heard of this, but what is the Pure Championship? Is it just a straight up wrestling match?
It is a wrestling match of a different identity where strategy is key. In this match, you only have 3 rope breaks, but after that, you are allowed to use the ropes any way you wish, whether it's towards victory or towards maybe rendering your opponent vulnerable for your finisher. There is also no closed fists. You use one, you get a warning. You use another, it's an automatic disqualification. So again, there is strategy, but it's also a presentation of its own site. And that's why this title is its own identity. If you don't know what a Pure Championship match looks like, go to Impact Wrestling for the most recent example where Jonathan Gresham took on a guy that didn't know what the hell this was. And with the distance, Steve Macklin. That being said, I completely agree with all of you on your sentiments about Wheeler Yuta, especially when he came out and says, I'm not looking to try and be a better best friend. I'm trying to be a better professional wrestler. Josh Woods has held this title after getting it off the octopus, Jonathan Gresham, back at Final Battle. And it took a whole damn lot to tear Jonathan Gresham away from that title, where he literally built that division and that championship and this match identity himself more than anybody else. Wheeler Yuta, though, is no slouch, though. He's held independent wrestling championships all over the place for incredible amounts of time. Very technically sound, very hungry, too. This is a young, bright up-and-comer. Both these men are. But Yuta right now, I see the heart, I see the passion, I see the drive. Josh Woods is a beast, but he's already claimed the championship. Yuta is going for a moment here, and if he really wants to try and prove something to Regal, who says, prove yourself a little more, kid, run along, and come back, because I definitely see him eventually being part of the Blackpool Combat Club, bar none. This is the first stepping stone in that, and we will see how well Yuta handles the pressure that comes with this Ring of Honor Pure Championship. I got a new champion as well.
I want to add to your point as well, Noah. If you think that this match can be good, knowing the names involved, if you're a super indie freak like Noah and I are, imagine what Wheeler Yuta and Trent Beretta could be for the Pure Championship. I mean,
playing the seeds for that. They're planting the seeds for that feud, James.
The seeds are planted here, and it will be a great match. It will be such a great match. So
this is the match that will tell you what Ring of Honor's principles have been based on the last 20 years. If you don't know or try and pirate anything else from this show, this match is the one you need to try and do.
That's it. This is one of those where we don't advocate piracy.
No.
We don't like that on
I
this
know
channel.
you people.
But watch this damn match.
Google.
Watch this damn show. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, definitely Yuta over here. And again, this is going to be a standout match. And again, who knows what a Pure Championship match is? You're about to find out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So now we go to a match that, JJ, I'm going to ask your opinion first because you are knowledgeable on both these teams. It is.
Wait, hold on. Did he give his opinion? Who's winning?
No, well, I
did not give my opinion on this one. Thank you for catching that, James.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You know what, though? my whole point I was going to illustrate is that I know jack diddly shit about either one of these guys, but this is what I love about doing this stuff with Noah. No disrespect to you, James, or to you, Jeff, but Noah just sold the shit out of Wheeler Yuta to me. Like, if this was a car dealership, like, I would have just walked away with the brand new car. Noah sold the shit out of him.
Yeah, dude, he's a car
to the point where I have to go with Yuta, for real.
Yo, no, you're in the wrong profession, man. Why are you in the podcasting? Go in the freaking. You should be the David Marquez of pro wrestling right now. Go.
Because Noah's a decent person. Anyway.
Ooh,
Oops, hot take. Okay, so anyway, now I'll go officially move on. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. If I can just get the freaking. Can we not? Can we stop acting shitty? Can we do that?
Did you say Yuta, by the way? Did you give your prediction on the match? I don't remember.
We all said Yuta, James. I'm writing them down. And yes, folks, there will be a form as I officially kick off the Ring of Honor Predictions League with Supercard of Honor.
Woo woo.
You introduce the match and let me go first if you can, Jeff.
I was going to let you go first because he hasn't had a chance to be first in this whole show. That's the only I was going to, and he knows both these teams. So I was going to.
I say give it to JJ because I want to see how much JJ can maybe influence me with a match he knows about both sides.
Well, okay. So, and again, but as I say that, to be fair, JJ's and my views of Jay and Mark are not exactly all that positive because of multiple no-shows out here for those two, for Dim Boys. But they've actually been a lot better, I've heard, in recent years. So that's why I tend to be a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why you want to give it to me. You want to give it to me for sure. All
right, fair enough. So we have the Hall of Famers, the first names of the marquee of the inductions for this year's the origins of the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. The Briscoes, Jay and Mark, they've been around forever. They just won the friggin' Crockett Cup. Let's not forget that.
They were my pick too.
They were your pick. I really wish we'd have covered that. I wish I'd have been home to cover it because I ended up watching it back on Fight. God damn, was that a good weekend of shows? And then you have FTR, who arguably, and I think we all agree in this room, was the most underutilized, technically sound tag team in recent WWE history.
Damn right.
100%.
So James, without question, right, JJ? So James, since you are chomping at the bit to talk about this match, take it away, brother.
I'm going to say FTR does win. However, I'm going to go back to David Ben's question as you have me on screen here. So you want my thoughts on possibly the Briscoes' final show in AEW. Look, I genuinely believe that this is going to be all or none for the Briscoes because they have to have a performance of a lifetime. They know it, and FTR knows it, and they want them in AEW. And you know Tony Khan wants them in AEW, and there's an outside force that is preventing them from going in on Turner's side. To which I say they have changed for a lot freaking better. They are not those same people that they were years ago when they made those damn stupid tweets. It was also a much different time back then when he made those stupid tweets. Even back then, and there is no reason why you cannot have them in the show when they have apologized for those comments profusely.
Oh, yeah.
So if I know the Briscoes and I know FTR, fuck Lee Moriarty and Jay Lethal and fuck Wheeler Yuta and Josh Woods, they're going to make sure that this is match of the night because they absolutely have to. They have to. They have to get the attention of Warner Media executives because if they have a great match here, they're going to be clamoring to have the Briscoes signed to AEW, and then it's going to be too much to ignore. They're going to have to sign them. So I think that you're going to watch a performance of a lifetime. If I were to think of anything, this is going to be match of the night, in my opinion. Dem Boys versus Top Guys, and what a billing too. I mean, these guys. And both of them are freaking champions, by the way. Let's not take that out of the equation. You got, it's crazy what Tony Khan has. It's a playpen of the best tag team division in the world between two companies, dude. Like, this is insanity. This is pure insanity. And you got two of the very best tag teams in the world going to fight it out here, and they're both champions. You can't get more pure than that, man.
No, you really can't. JJ, take it away, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about FTR. I hate to kill your hype on me on that one.
Oh, well.
But I do know a lot about the Briscoes. And I'm not going to be as mean or as negative as you may think I'm going to be. I do see FTR winning. I see the Briscoes' ROH careers coming to a wind down, and that's why they were the first name announced for their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right.
I 100% agree with James. They're probably going to steal the show, though. But I look at this as their way of moving on to bigger and better things, whatever that may be for them down the road, whether it's AEW contracts or possibly going to Impact and then coming into AEW through the open door or whatever it may be. They just won the Crockett Cup, like you mentioned. The road ahead still looks good for Mark and Jay. But I think this is going to be the final match for their ROH careers.
What a way to go out, too, by the way. I mean,
yeah, at Supercard of Honor, seriously.
And with a match that absolutely deserves a marquee title. Look at this. Yeah. You know? Tag team wrestling, boys. You're going to see tag team wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah, where do you stand on this, good sir?
This is one of those what ifs you truly fought.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. Botch. This is one of those what ifs you truly thought never would happen, and you couldn't have more of a mirror image of two driven, dynamic, technically sound, hard-hitting, grounded, well-communicative tag teams on the planet right now in tag team professional wrestling. The Briscoes have literally been the foundation of Ring of Honor since day one. There again, you talk about the reason that they were the first announced for the freaking inaugural Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. They have held down those Ring of Honor tag team championships as if it's more precious than life itself, in the most cruelest of ways possible sometimes too, and the most barbaric. And then you have FTR, top guys. They want to be top professional wrestlers. They've done it all everywhere and have gotten titles everywhere. They are a team traditionalists have been clamoring to see for the past decade that has been missing from this scene in tag team wrestling. The only thing that FTR hasn't done at this point is Crockett Cup and NWA World Tag Team Championships. But they also haven't done the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. I think they finally added another accolade to their tremendous legacy of tag team wrestling. If this truly is the Briscoes' last ride, you couldn't think of a better team to pass the torch of Ring of Honor's future in tag team wrestling too. So I have FTR winning here, simple as that, because both JJ and James laid the foundation. I'm sure, Jeff, you will add more to this too. But again, it's one of those also where I could see people are sleeping, I feel like, on Ring of Honor Supercard, and maybe the surprises and upsets you could get from those that know Ring of Honor from the beginning and maybe want those originals to win. If nothing else, I do see handshakes at the beginning, maybe a bit of a fake out, but definitely at the end, especially where you know FTR right now are heavily influenced by the Hart Foundation and so many great tag teams of the past. They want Bret the Hitman Hart in their corner, for Pete's sake, and they keep teasing that. Okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that they've been teasing the idea of Bret being with FTR for the last several weeks. Regardless, you're going to see the best possible tag team wrestling match this entire weekend out of these two teams. But somehow I do have FTR getting the Ring of Honor gold and adding it to their legacy.
You know, I went into this match having the Briscoes. Y'all talked me out of it. Good on you guys. Good salesman job, all three of you. I'm going with FTR. I really am. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to convince. You're supposed to make your argument. Make your argument work for you, and you guys did. So I'm here for it.
And I would not be mad if I'm wrong. There's some times where you're just a professional wrestling fan, you just want to see great wrestling matches where
you'll
either
get
scenario
that.
you're going to be happy
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if Briscoe somehow retained, but I do think FTR should be double champions, like for sure.
Yeah.
Especially
they should be all the champions, personally.
Especially when you consider the fact we were talking about storyline progression on via AEW television earlier and the Forbidden Door aspect. Like they just did a segment with the Young Bucks again. Let's not forget about that.
BTE.
So. And while on Dynamite too, there was a freaking backstage segment with those guys. So when you put that into perspective, obviously, and FTR has made no bones that they want to collect all the gold outside of AEW. They already collected the AEW tag team titles once. You know they want to collect more gold. Ring of Honor tag team titles is the next step. I guarantee you they're going to go for those MWA tag team titles again. Keep in mind, this is the first of many matches. I don't think we're going to see the last of this match ever. There's no way. And, NWA titles, I'm sure. IWGP heavyweight titles, if they decide to go to Japan. I wouldn't see why not when they have the AAA tag team titles. They got a lot of gold they want to collect. And they want
FTR is the belt collectors of the tag team world of professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
As they should be, because the Bucks did it, and FTR can do it way better for my money. And I'm a fan of the Bucks. I grew up watching with the Bucks in the business. So FTR can do it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, question for you real quick before we move on to the next match.
Yes, sir.
Have the Briscoes ever faced off against the Dudleys?
Not to my knowledge.
And unfortunately, it probably won't happen. The closest you'll probably get that is Terrence and Terrell Hughes because D1's in the WWE. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know that it won't happen now because of the rift there between Bubba and Devon, but I'm just curious.
There's no rift. He's a WWE higher up. That doesn't mean they're not.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves.
We've worked up too much. Yeah. So in that vein, we have our super chat, and we'll get to that as soon as this is over because we are, kids, at the halfway point of the show because it is time for your Ring of Honor main event. I don't know why the picture's smaller because I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
But we see it clearly.
It is the undisputed Ring of Honor World Championship as the man who went into Final Battle unable to compete for the championship, Bandito, defends his version of the title against the man who has taken the original, the title that JJ and I saw come out here a million, bajillion, gajillion times on many, many waists and shoulders. Jonathan Gresham, the Ring of Honor World Champion on his front. My God, I'm going last just because I'm so impressed with both these guys. And I'm going to actually start with Noah this time because we're having the Ring of Honor segment end. So Noah, where do you stand between the two Ring of Honor World Champions, the two men who are destined to battle it out to see who takes Ring of Honor into the next phase of their legacy?
Freaking jeez. You couldn't have a more wild contrast of styles when it comes to two men. The high-flying, insane offense of Bandito versus the much more mat ground-based wrestling style of Gresham. He's not a high flyer in his own right, but he's not afraid to adapt to other wrestlers' styles. Bandito's had this title, of course, ever since beating Rouge for the championship. And, of course, we had the interim where the Foundations, Lethal and Gresham, fought for the original title. And ever since Gresham won that, he has defended it everywhere. He even won a Progress Championship, so defending this too, as he's the Progress World Champion. This right here is literally going to be the guy to lead Ring of Honor into the next 20 years. Bar none, in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of discussion about Gresham when it comes to where does he stand, where does he go, what does he do, where will he sign? I truly still don't know. But again, he calls himself the Foundation for a reason. And Bandito, though, has been clamoring for this match ever since Final Battle to prove a point why he is and should be maybe the undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion. Again, I could go about this all night long, but I look at who's been defending that title more in front of me, and I feel should be the guy to continue leading Ring of Honor. For some reason, I don't know how and why, especially when you try to ground Bandito, because that's near impossible, I'm going to say that Gresham wins this.
There you go. JJ, I'm going to ask you briefly again. I know our Ring of Honor, you and I's knowledge is what it is, but I definitely want to get your opinion on this because you, like I said, we saw the man known as Jamie Noble bring this championship through. Bryan Danielson bring this through. We've seen a lot of Ring of Honor champions come through our plane of vision, and
yes,
both these guys, but especially Gresham with that original championship, I have great passion and great hopes for the future of Ring of Honor, whoever emerges from Friday as the champion. But where do you stand on this?
Damn right.
Once again, this is the other match where I really know very little about either competitor.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna go on a whim here, based off of the fact that he's currently got the Progress title as well,
Right.
and I feel like that's gonna be a huge marketing tool for Tony Khan going forward. I want to see Gresham keep it. I'd like to see that title remain because that title is so classic that I feel would be such a great way to bring it back.
Yep.
You know, very much akin to the way they brought back the classic Intercontinental title when they did whatever it was like a decade ago.
Man, I missed
the whole
that belt.
white strap Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Oh, you mean with that guy that may or may not be there this weekend?
Yeah, we'll get to that on Thursday. But it's only smoke and mirrors to me. But anyway,
That's right.
But yeah, so
soul.
I'm gonna go with Gresham though because it's all about marketing. It's all about establishing Ring of Honor as being back in the public consciousness. And what better marketing tool than to reestablish the classic title as its brand, as its belt. So simple, yet so amazing to look at. And then to have the fact that Progress is connected to WWE,
Yes.
and ROH is connected to AEW.
Bridging worlds.
You've got a guy that's champion of both areas.
Yeah, big time.
Less
He told-
is more. Respect,
Seriously.
legacy.
Yeah, Gresham told the late Mike Awesome, late Rick Rude, hold my beer, kids. Because I'm holding both. So there you go. Good on him. James, where are you at on this one, my friend?
When you look at these two men, you guys pretty much covered the history better than I ever could, but I'll kind of break down the match aspect of this. Recently on Wrestling Bios, there is a series on that channel called Reliving the War, which if you have not seen it, go watch it.
So good.
On that show, he covered a very underrated cruiserweight title match on Road Wild of all freaking shows between Alex Wright and Chris Jericho.
Yep.
And
Throwback.
Yep.
you want to talk about great styles meeting together, a high-flying guy meeting a mat technician. You got that in spades with both guys. And I think that you're going to see a very similar style match here. You got a high flyer in Bandito and a grounded, pure wrestler in Jonathan Gresham. This contrast in styles is going to benefit the Ring of Honor World title as far as match pace goes. I think this, honestly, every match on this damn card could really be match of the night, and this one is no exception because of the contrast in styles. And I've always said, ever since I saw the cruiserweight divisions in both WCW and then later WWE, different styles make for a better match.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's
Such as the identity of
really
openweight and NJPW at times, too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go with Gresham as well. Gresham, to me, is the guy going forward for the future of Ring of Honor. I don't see why you take the belt off him. I believe the belt he has, which is the old ROH title, I believe he's the interim champion, if I'm not mistaken. So this is actually their first proper, undisputed Ring of Honor heavyweight champion of the world, which is great. I mean, man, the way they marketed this is great. The past, the present, the future.
Yep.
The way they did it all here is just very good. Very good. Tony Khan, round of applause.
And even before Tony took the book, they had, the Hall of Famers going in. You had Danielson, you had Punk, you had the Briscoes, and you had Samoa Joe, who are all, and my shot is crooked as a politician. Good grief almighty. Sorry, whatever. I'll scoot over here. There we go. There it is. So, I look under the freaking Andre shot here. It's been so well marketed, and everybody after the sale talked about the history. And in fact, again, you have Punk and Danielson, who really people think about those two guys more than anybody else in the mainstream wrestling world when it comes to Ring of Honor, because Punk freaking threw the name out there in the middle of Las Vegas. JJ and I were there live for that mess. And of course, Danielson, was Ring of Honor's identity for so long when he was the world champion. So just a great stuff here. Before I get to my official prediction, I do want to bring JJ back on screen real quick here, if I can get the friggin' thing to work, because Dwayne promised it yesterday, JJ. You sold him. There you go.
I know. I saw that comment pop up, and I started grinning just a little bit because yesterday, no, for real, yesterday on Ask the Dads, he was saying that he was looking forward to tuning into the predictions, and I was like, well, we'll see. He said we'll see if we can change his mind on anything. And so I told him, if I change your mind on something, please put it in the comments. I want to know. So there it is.
There you go.
There it is.
We still have the whole NXT part to do too, and see if I can do another one on this show. So I'm looking forward to it.
So you'll have more than one person to have to try to convince.
So I will be as brief. So I'll be as brief as possible. I mean, everybody made the point for me. Gresham's the future. Gresham has taken this championship all around the world into different major league companies, Impact Wrestling, AEW, all over the world, it seems like. And he's been everywhere, and he's defended it, and he's been a solid champion. And like I said, he is the first person in the history of the universe to concurrently hold a world championship, owned and operated, if you will, by WWE, and owned and operated by the management of AEW. So he is a legit big deal right now, and I think they're going to continue that. Yes, Bandito was a wonderful champion prior to having to go on hiatus along with the company itself due to COVID. So
thank God he's back, by the way. Holy crap.
Yeah. It's so funny how much we were all freaked out about the pandemic as far as wrestling, and then Bandito goes down, and now it's like, shit, I want to do a team, no more masks, no more of this. So it's just a matter of everybody needs to just either get it and get better or fight through it. And we all have, and we have a major championship opportunity for both men. And Jonathan Gresham I was saying off air to you guys, he is like, we always talk about Randy Orton's the prototypical professional wrestler. It's like, no, Randy Orton's the prototypical sports entertainer. He's just a great technical wrestler too. Jonathan Gresham, for me right now, is the professional wrestler in the world right now. He just is that guy. And to be the professional wrestler that symbolizes wrestling around the world is the Ring of Honor Championship. So that's where I stand with it. So that's my opinion. And as my dad says, it should be yours.
Before we go to NXT, don't forget about that super chat.
Yes, I do want to bring that up because it is a wonderful question. I'm going to go ahead and bring us into this view so we don't get totally blocked out with our faces, because poor James got blocked out like 2-3 times there in that view.
Oh, well, hey, nobody has to look at my ugly mud.
Hey now. So the question is, how many former Ring of Honor world champ? I'm assuming he means world champions have gone on to win world titles in bigger companies. Well,
bro,
Joe Danielson, Punk.
Raven did.
Raven wasn't Ring of Honor world champion though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Was
Joe,
AJ?
Punk,
Was AJ ever the?
AJ was never. AJ got out of Ring of Honor right during the whole Feinstein bullshit at first, so he was never world champion over there.
Okay.
So we got Joe, we got Punk, we got Danielson, we got Austin Aries.
That was the one I forgot.
Aries, yeah.
For reasons.
Technically, Jerry Lynn was world champion of ECW before he even became
Ring of Honor
ROH champion. So I don't know if you want to count that or not. Tyler Black. Seth Rollins.
I think is the biggest, like,
Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards,
Kevin Steen.
Kevin Steen. Generico's not been world champion yet, Sami Zayn, but I don't think he will be.
Cody,
but
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Cody as well. Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Cody. So
definitely Cody.
Pretty much, at least half of the 20 years.
What about Kyle O'Reilly?
Kyle's not
O'Reilly?
a world champion.
Did he
in
get
WWE.
an
No,
NXT
no,
world
he
title or
would
no?
have been a world champion if Triple H was healthy longer.
True.
Yeah, he had opportunity to be our NXT champion on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
So to answer your question of what time it is by how to build the watch, pretty much the entire damn history of the title.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly. That's the point we're trying to make, guys. The Ring of Honor Championship is so important to the history of the business, especially in the last 2 decades. Obviously, that's how long it's been around, 20 years. But if you are solely a WWE fan and have even, kind of dipped your toe into the Impact world or watched AEW periphery, you don't know the whole story. And that's the key.
Exactly.
The whole story is everything.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor is a huge, and I mean part of the history of wrestling. And honestly, it's a huge part of the history of sports entertainment because a lot of the guys, went into WWE. Sami Zayn was not Ring of Honor world champion. Generico was television champion. Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe he was.
El Generico?
If you count the NXT title, then yes.
That's, what? But I don't think Generico was ROH world champion, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he was. I believe he was. Was he?
I'm going to have to look this up
because he was.
Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up.
I'm looking.
I got it right here because I was already on Wiki looking up names.
There you go. Generico should be on the list. No. Okay. I didn't think so.
I think he came close.
Roddy
fighting Kevin Steen, but
it went from Black to Roddy to Eddie to Davey to Steen to Jay Briscoe to vacant, and then after it was vacated, it went to Cole.
Yeah. Again, I think Jay Briscoe is one of the very few that has not been a world champion outside of Ring of Honor. Like very, very few, as we just
very
the whole
few.
list.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. By the way, I have a perfect segue, if you don't mind. I have the perfect comment of apparently this is going on right now. Xena did that on Twitter. Just tweeted, "I tuned into WWE NXT and they're talking about dicks. This is truly the horniest show." To which I then reply with the thing that I just sent in the chat now. You guys can check that out. It's a meme I created. And now we get on to WWE NXT.
Well, before we talk about NXT, I do gotta plug the rest of my shit, get my shit in here. So,
all right, Brian Cage.
That's right. So coming
I've got
up,
the Sean Ricker shirt. Brian Cage, get your shit in.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Because Brian Cage and him were tag team partners. Percy's last clients. I love that. Great segue, Jay. Thank you, my friend. So we'll be right back after this brief message from, me.
All right.
Hi,
Hey.
we're back. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Where-
Dr. Nick.
Oh no, What's Jeff? Jeff, you froze. No.
After Jay, because that'd be a hell of a basketball game. Anyway, there you go.
Really quickly before we officially move on, Richard's question.
Now, of course,
about what wrestler has had the best career after
NXT.
leaving ROH.
Yeah, I think we're still. I think on the computer, Jeff, you're still on delay. I don't think that's changing. Sorry, what were you saying, JJ? Go ahead.
I was saying really quickly before we officially move on, Richard's question about what wrestler has the biggest career after leaving ROH.
Ooh.
I think honestly it comes down to Punk and Bryan.
Yeah, I was about to say, and both of them went through the WWE, and you look at what both those men are doing now in AEW. I think about who these men have faced and what they brought forward to the professional wrestling industry. It's a narrow margin for me, but I'm going with Bryan Danielson.
I go with Punk, honestly, actually, because currently, like, not that Bryan isn't up there either. Like, it's really neck and neck between these two, but I'd honestly
it's 1 and 1A.
Literally.
If Punk hadn't dropped that pipe bomb and Bryan hadn't gotten the yes movement behind him, it would have been Samoa Joe, hands down. The way he was booked in Impact.
Yep.
But because of those two factors, period, they eclipsed Joe.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, boy.
And the fact that Joe could never get his ground going for him on the main roster. On NXT, yeah, he was a beast still. But once he made the jump to the main roster, he floundered.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, holy crap, that backdrop, not that it's your fault, Jeff, but oh my God, when I see that NXT freaking bright colored arena, it's even worse. Oh my God, it's awful. Fuck.
All right, Jeff.
If Punk hadn't left when he did, and Bryan hadn't got hurt when he did, it would still be neck and neck. So I think start this first match, and I'm going to go back on the phone because obviously this isn't working.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah, it's really sad what happened with Samoa Joe when it came to the WWE approach. I mean, he was great for commentary, but I really would like to see him maybe show up in Ring of Honor and add to the roster, and he definitely would be great for creative as well. Again, I feel like we definitely will see. And Tony Khan did say he might have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Honest to God, that's gonna be very interesting to see. Like,
well, Anthony Y has an interesting idea. I could see Claudio showing up after the Ring of Honor World Title match and have a stare down with the Ring of Honor champion.
Oh, yeah, that's
Claudio in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, because if you're bringing Claudio into Ring of Honor / AEW in any capacity though, the first thing I'm doing is pairing him up with Regal, Bryan, and Moxley.
I get where you're coming from. But again, it's one of those things like how you bring the man in. Again, foundation. I get where you're coming from. But again, it's one of those things like how you bring the man in. Again, foundation.
Well, it's a good thing I heard that twice.
Right. So nice. You got to hear it twice.
I heard that twice. Oh, this is going to be tremendous. I love it.
If I was going to have Claudio show up at Supercard of Honor, I would have him and Hero show up and stare down the winner of the Briscoes FTR match.
And you reunite the kings of pro wrestling.
Yeah, especially if FTR takes it. You know, okay, you just defeated the Briscoes, arguably the foundation of the tag division. Now you get the Kings.
Yeah, I could see that. I wish Shelton Benjamin wasn't under contract.
So underrated.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't under contract to the WWE because I would love to see the Kings of Wrestling and the world's greatest tag team go at it just like one more time.
Or just
That's
put
like
Shelton
all
Benjamin
we
with the kings of pro wrestling and ignite the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships, and somehow you verge that in AEW, and there's your trios division.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of trios now. That's for damn sure. Hi, Jeff.
Bueller.
Yes.
Bueller?
Bueller.
Bueller?
Bueller.
Bueller?
Bueller.
1, 2. Is this on?
Bueller.
Okay, we're good. All right.
My time. Oh, okay, sorry.
Order in the court. What?
At
What?
least this is doing this now, and I know how to not fuck it up Thursday. Anyway.
There you go.
Right, exactly.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's right.
G.I.
Tell the boy.
Joe.
J-N-M. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong song.
Oh, my
Anyway,
Lord.
all right.
We've gone off the rails.
But before I get this graphic loaded up, can I talk about the fact that Fandango and JTG are doing the Dirty Sexy Boys against the NBA? I'm just laughing my ass off the whole thing. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
Wait, what?
Hey,
What the hell are JTG and Fandango doing?
they're tag teaming.
They are the Dirty Sexy Boys and NWA, and Velvet's all over their jock. And
I like it. I like it, though. I'm fine with
Why am I
that.
not surprised that Velvet Sky has a thing for Fandango?
Dirty Dango is his new name. Show
Yeah,
some
good
damn
point.
You gotta show some damn respect to his. I'm gonna pull a freaking Danny DeVito here.
Oh, God.
You gotta show some respect for his dong.
Well, it's sunny. It's always sunny somewhere. All right.
All right. So now that we've got that, I think I had this all figured out. If not, then I'm clearly talking out of my ass, which I said at the top of the show.
Yay!
Hey, there we go. Okay.
Hey!
Ah, no, Gunther! Why are you killing my
You
boy
had-
Walter?
Don't
You
say
had to
Walter!
start with
Say
this
Walter! It's a stupid idea from Bad Creative! This is the
Okay.
Ling General versus LA Knight! Put some damn respect on the Ling General's
Okay, so we're all
name!
calling him Walter, right? Okay, so never mind. Everything's fine.
Don't get me started!
Everything's
But-
fine.
but-
He's
but
Walter.
why you have to
It's
start
fine.
with this one? I mean, like, I'm actually repping the shirt. We should have built to this.
All right.
Someone actually bought the merch for this match.
Should we put up the ladder match or the Tony Soprano?
Like, come on, Jeff.
Phone.
Respect our boy.
I mean, him being in the opener, I think, is kind of respectful because, hey, he sets the tone for the show.
Yeah, let's go. Okay.
Alright.
Wayne's like, okay, JJ, here's your chance. I'm listening.
Why is... Oh, that's Tony D'Angelo. I was about to say, why the fuck is Madcap Moss on my screen? I was about to punch the screen. I was like, no, they did not do this.
All right. So,
All right.
Okay, I'll do LA Knight semi-main just for Uncle Jay. Okay. Just
Okay.
Thank you, bro.
good
Thank
Lord
you.
Almighty.
And I'm sure Sean Ricker appreciates it too.
I'm not gonna give a shit, but that's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
Oh, Lord.
So here you've got a guy who has been arguably the face of NXT even into the 2.0 era because of how long he's been around. He's outlasted even this boy Johnny Gargano, who, by the way, will be at Jimmy's World Order out here, JJ, the week after WrestleMania, for what it's worth. If you want to go out and see our boy Johnny and not have to worry about seeing his wife. Anyway, but and then you got Tony D'Angelo, who has really kind of been not really under the radar necessarily, but he's definitely not been really a, oh my God, this dude stands out like a non-sore thumb. But here you've got a guy in Ciampa who, as they're talking about in the chat room, you know, he's going to be out of the company, at least the brand after this show. He's probably either going to Raw or SmackDown, or like he has said all along, once he leaves NXT, he's done because he doesn't want to go to Raw or SmackDown. Who can blame him? So for me, I definitely see Tony D'Angelo winning this, but I definitely see Ciampa handing him his ass. You know, he's going to beat his ass, but he's going to earn Ciampa's respect in the process and make Tony D'Angelo a made man.
Yeah, I'm with you. D'Angelo's going to win. D'Angelo's been the only standout, really, one of the few standouts in 2.0 era.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm glad he's there in this match with Ciampa. But, man, I mean, this novelty is going to wear off. We're going to go into rematch city and quick. This is going to be Raw 3.0. More like.
James, don't get him ideas to make this 3 hours long.
Okay, but by the way, Noah, you were on No DQ tonight with their predictions. Who wrote the article about Dynamite going to 3 hours? They should be drawn, quartered, and shot.
Yes.
Like, for real.
I agree. And to save the identity, I won't say a name, but go follow NoDQ.com, folks. Yes, NoDQ. As far as this goes...
I like Dynamite. I like it even being at 2 hours.
Yeah, it's perfect as the 2 hour hype I get weekly as a professional wrestling fan. But I digress.
It's like,
seriously,
have a third hour. It's called Rampage. Carry on.
Guys, I'm just saying, just because you get more advertising revenue, if you don't have the quality to justify the quantity long term to justify the money, don't fucking do it.
No,
don't do it. Don't.
And again, we've talked a lot over the years about, Raw can't unpigeonhole themselves because of advertising for that third hour, but man, quality just takes a nosedive. So yeah, AEW, as strong and as overinflated, I'll even say their roster is, third hour is a freaking death knell. Absolutely not.
You said nosedive, so I got to do it.
So we're at Noah for this match. D'Angelo.
Hold on. Before you get to that, you said nosedive, so I got to.
What?
Advertising revenue. Vince McMahon needs that. Shove that third hour into a nosedive, Hulk Hogan.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, James Hebert. He'll be here all night. Yeah, again, this match right here, if I was wearing a white tank top and got my fedora, you would think I was Tony D'Angelo. But again, this Soprano guy, he made Ciampa a deal he couldn't refuse. Now, whether or not he whacks him, that's up for you to decide. But I do agree with you. I think Tony D'Angelo's going to get the win here. Because as far as NXT 2.0, Vince is NXT. This is one of the guys they're putting stock in. When I look at what NXT for Vince is trying to breed into the main roster, Lord help everybody. Tony D'Angelo, Ivy Nile, they are front runners for me. So here, this might literally be Ciampa's last stand for what we loved and believed in our NXT. Whether or not he retires or takes a chance on the other rosters, God help the Blackheart, but I do have Tony D'Angelo winning.
By the way, to add to your point about the freaking Tony Soprano character, how freaking 15 years too late do you have to be in that much of your own bubble, Vince? Jesus
hey,
Christ.
I'm a little bit Italian at heart myself, so I understand where you're coming from.
Is it sad that I remember Sopranos the most finale-wise because I was at Josh Sheriff's house watching that match? No lie. No lie.
And by the way, it's bad when I'm not saying the gimmick is bad, but it's so outdated. It's really like unbelievable when the main event Mafia looks more current than this.
Agree.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if WWE tries to pull a fast one and recreate that in their own image with this guy as the Dawn.
Yeah, this match will be good. By the way, don't get us twisted.
No.
It's just
no. I'm not denying the quality we'll get in this match, but again, you think about what it really is about, what it's been built on, and the identity of the show it's going to be on. It all kind of falls flat.
Exactly. JJ.
Yes, sir. I'm glad y'all making the jokes already because every time I see Tony D'Angelo, I'm looking around for Chuck Palumbo and Nunzio.
The FBI.
Don't forget Big Vito, our buddy Big Vito. Don't forget him.
Yeah, no.
Big Vito. Isn't he on No DQ now? What the hell?
Yeah.
For real, like at first I thought that was an image of Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah, well, that means you will remember him. Yeah.
I would go for Ciampa just because I think he might hold out just a little longer in NXT for a rematch to fully put him over.
What? WWE booking wouldn't surprise me, JJ.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but it's also WrestleMania weekend, and usually WrestleMania weekend is where you turn the tide, especially in NXT. We've seen it with Ember Moon, we've seen it with Bayley. Usually, you take your final stand on that biggest stage, and then you're on your way.
Agreed. But I don't know, just something in my gut says this isn't going to be the last match for these two, and we might get one more round at the next NXT takeover, PLE, whatever it is they're going to call them.
It's not even takeover, remember? RIP NXT. It's just called NXT Stand Delivered. With the way they're naming the other stuff, why not just call it EXP afterwards? So you got level up experience.
Level up now. Anyway,
What are you leveling up exactly?
Yeah. AEW. Anyway.
Exactly.
Meach?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Oh,
Yes.
I said at the top, I'm going for D'Angelo just because
Okay.
I
I'm on an island unto myself on this one. Okay.
you are, sir.
You,
So,
Yes, you are.
before
I'm
Noah, you brought up Ivy, or maybe James brought up Ivy. I forgot.
I did. I brought up Ivy Nile, yes.
He did.
In everybody's opinion here in the room, do you guys think they brought Ivy up and put her in the role she's in because they couldn't sign Paige Van Zandt?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I saw Ivy and I went, okay, so she's Paige Light. Got it. Cool. Just good to know.
Yeah, exactly.
For there. I mean, that was just so blatantly obvious what that was. So
I mean, the only thing that's the difference is Paige Van Zandt's not wearing a chain around her neck.
right, exactly. So yeah, it was, and again, I like both. I think
they're both great powerhouses for the division.
And if they turn Paige loose, she'll do great things with that Chatterhead and Scorpio and everybody. So it'll be awesome. But anyway, all right.
Moving on.
Next up we got. I know Noah's looking forward to seeing these guys on screen. So let me just go ahead and throw it up there and let him do his thing.
Yes.
Imperium.
Yes. For the
World
lot
Tag Team
is
Championship
sacred.
against MSK, the disciples of Riddle and the Creed brothers. I'll actually start with JJ, because I know JJ's been watching more NXT than I've given him credit for here lately. So, JJ, where do you see this match going?
Yeah, for those that aren't in the know, I've seen every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT since the Chamber, because I wanted to try to be as versed on the product going into Mania as possible. And Dwayne, if that's who you're going for, bro, then I am not changing your opinion on this one, because I've totally got the Creed bros in this one.
There you go.
I feel with what's been going on with Walter, Gunther, Imperium as of late, they are all going to fall this weekend. And I'm looking at the Creed brothers to take the straps and take their next steps.
I actually agree, and I say that because, like you said, Imperium will fall. And honestly, they had this big thing for MSK's, freaking guru or whatever. It was Riddle, and then they did absolutely, here it is, fuck all with it. Like, what was the point of that?
Jeff, James is on the show. That word's been said a few times already.
Well, the one for me, I meant. So
straight from the head honcho, though, of the Jeff Meacham Network. That's where it really has its value.
I mean, you talk about how the NXT on Mania weekend is where people move on to the roster. That's kind of what I'm seeing for Walter and Imperium.
Right.
So, and then with the trouble that I saw that one of the MSK dudes just got into, it just totally makes it even more so for the Creed brothers, in my opinion.
Yep. I mean, and if that was the reason MSK got the deep push without Riddle, it doesn't surprise me. But even if that hadn't happened, I don't know when this was. I was brought up today on Twitter apparently, but I don't know how far back the inside baseball stuff knowledge went about that. So, but yeah, they did absolute dick with that. It's Riddle, and then he was there for what, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then nothing.
Yeah, so, there was an 8-man tag match at the very least waiting to happen with MSK and RK Bro. Like,
yeah, it was so like it was like Anybody else waiting for Randy to just drop all three of them, just bing, bang, boom, and walk out like, all right, I had enough of this bullshit. Thank you and good night.
I mean, at this point, I'm just expecting for it not to freaking happen at this point. Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Randy has used the F word.
He did.
Riddle's going to be the one to turn on him.
Which is exactly, again, we'll talk about that Thursday, but that's exactly what the hell needs to happen.
But Creed Brothers is my pick.
JJ's got the Creed Brothers. James, where do you stand on this tag team match?
I'm just going to stick with Imperium because Creed Brothers might, but I don't know fucking dick about them. I'm in JJ's camp right now. All I know is, just from first glance, I've never seen any wrestler look like Peter Griffin and Glenn Quagmire in the same tag team. I swear to God, I'm looking at Family Guy characters brought to real life. I've never seen, like, and the fact I'm looking at the first Creed brother. I swear to God, he has a box for a head, and then you got the other guy. He looks like he looks like an Americanized version of Antonio Inoki with shovel chin over there.
Oh my gosh!
What in the fuck?
When we die.
Why are they even in the match? And then you got MSK, who, I mean, we're holding. We obviously know who the more talented of the freaking old crew was in Impact. He's still there. And then you got Imperium. It's just. Ay.
If this was an old school prediction episode, I would have walked off during that little diatribe. It would have been a dad's walk off.
Oh my God! Why was that? I'm sorry. Was that offensive?
No. It wasn't offensive. It's just when something is said that you just are like so dumbfounded about, can't believe. We just walk off so we can collect ourselves. More often than not, it was a compliment as opposed to an insult, James. So
oh my gosh, that was funny. That was fucking funny.
It seems today that all you see, the Creed brothers are now on NXT.
Oh my God.
Noah Foster, love of God, reel us back in, brother. Talk about the sacred mad that Imperium and cherishes so much.
Oh my God. Okay, I got. I'm trying to work here. I'm sorry.
Come on, you got
this. Sacred, the sacredicity of the mat died. Look at this shit. Look at them. Look at the Creeds. What are they? Why are they? Why? Okay, go ahead, Noah. Sorry. I'm just so baffled.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Okay. Damn it, James! You freaking idiot! Oh my God! I haven't heard this much of a roasting since Jeff Ross and Bob Saget. R.I.P. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty!
I hear
God.
To take a quote from the old school Casa DAs, this show has gone butt fucky.
Yeah.
Wow. I heard somebody laughing in the background, JJ. Who's laughing there?
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Now then. Oh, God. Whew. Okay. Imperium has held the NXT Tag Team Championships proudly. After Fame and Eitner's breakout match, where MSK were involved, formerly challenging for the titles in a multi-team bout. I think it was Vengeance Day, whatever the hell they called the thing at Valentine's Day, where there was no love. What is love? Anyway, the Creed Brothers won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They are right now the most push-forward team in Vince's NXT. I look at this premium live event, and this is about pushing forward Vince's NXT. I look at these three teams. Imperium has held the throne down proudly, but they are being used, guided, and probably even training the future of Vince's WWE. And it starts in this tag team division with the Creed brothers becoming the new NXT tag team champions. At this point, the biggest story plot to this whole triple threat is who attacked the Creed brothers. And that might be an angle that might play against me during this match, but I more so see it coming in afterwards. And whether or not it was MSK pulling a ruse or another tag team, we have no idea, that has just decided to flourish all of a sudden NXT 2.0. in this match, I do see new tag team champions, and I'm going with the Creed Brothers because right now, Diamond Mine is one of the most over acts in NXT 2.0 as a whole, and the Creed Brothers, I feel, deserve it. 100%.
Always good to be over in the hole.
Nope.
Very good. All right.
Part of the Diamond Mine?
now.
What?
And let's get that. Get the next match. Right. There it is. Okay.
Wait, Jeff, did you give your prediction?
I did.
Yes, he went with the Creed Brothers.
Okay.
And might I add, there will be a graph about all of this. As far as I'm concerned, Jeff, you just officially established the Jeff Meacham Network Predictions League for All Things Wrestling, and I freaking love it. Thank you.
Appreciate that very much.
May the best predictor win. This is an interesting match considering, well, we know how much tag team wrestling matters. But Jeff, go ahead and introduce it.
I mean, we've got Mandy Rose, who came down much akin to Dolph Ziggler and has really made this division, along with her associates, their own. It is their division. They run the show. We're just pawns on Toxic Attraction's chessboard here. We really are. And you got Io Shirai, who again is one of those that she was on the cusp of unbelievable greatness. The rebranding hit, and she got lost in that shuffle quicker than a freaking deck of cards. It was so sad.
Oh yeah.
Cora Jade is one of those that I see great things for her, but she's lumped into a 4-way here. Don't know if it's going to play out long term, at least not this weekend. And you got Kaylee Ray, who again was, she's longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion. We were in a pandemic, sweetie. Slow your roll. It's okay. Just throwing that out. I mean, she's a great wrestler, one of the best on the WWE roster when you think of all the factors involved. But her title reign, it's not like she's freaking Roman Reigns at 576. Let's not kid ourselves, okay?
Fair enough.
Big difference. And again, I'm the women's wrestling advocate guy on this channel and on this panel. So it just is what it is. Based on what I've seen in NXT since the Chamber, because I'm trying to play catch up ball with the Renegade here, trying to get where he's at on watching this stuff because I haven't been watching shit, been too busy. My gut tells me that this is the one championship that will not reset this weekend.
No.
And I think Mandy retains here.
Yeah, I agree. Mandy's too over right now. Mandy is probably the only thing saving whatever the hell is left of WWE's women's division as a whole, minus Rousey and Becky and the other two women they're fighting.
Charlotte and Bianca.
So it's just like, you gotta give the win to Mandy here. It's sad because like I feel like Mandy in this gimmick would have been so much better in Triple H's NXT if it was this gimmick, because they strayed so far away from it that when you introduce it like in that time period, it would have been so good. Where now it's just like it's so forced. It's so forced. We are sexy ladies that act like OnlyFans models without the OnlyFans account because Vince doesn't like third-party uses. Yeah. So,
Sean Garner, I see your comment after we predict this match. I'll throw it up there because I don't have a graphic for that because I didn't know that was made official. So.
And Bossman made it official for No DQ as well. It's official for this weekend. So this is definitely not TakeOver. This is a 7-match EXP NXT special.
Wow.
Oh, great. So
But anyway, continue your closing thought and get the title. All right. So you picked Mandy. Got it.
Mr. Williams.
For starters, I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that the female Dusty Classic came out.
Yeah.
I was hoping for Wendy and Dakota. I thought that they had some serious potential, and then Io and Kaylee Ray win, and they go for singles matches instead and turn into a 4-way.
Yep.
So okay, you just had this whole tournament based around tag team, and you're going for Mandy Rose instead.
Yep.
So I'm immediately throwing them out of this because they don't belong, period.
No.
Yep.
I have no ill will towards either competitor,
Same.
but they shouldn't be in this match. And I see something in Cora. I'm not sure what yet, but a win doesn't necessarily have to be a title change either.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going for Cora for this one.
Well, in the 4-way, there are no DQs or countouts, so it's
True.
So whoever wins this will be the champion.
Right.
I'm sticking to my guns and going with Cora.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw this up here. So like I don't have a graphic for it, and I apologize for my lack of preparation there. But then again, I wasn't watching NXT because we're on the air right now.
Wait, when did they team up again? What?
Must have been
They
tonight.
were feuding.
Must have been tonight.
Let me go ahead and you could segue into the other match because I could talk about that too. So we're talking about both women matches back to back. But yeah, I agree with all your sentiments about Mandy Rose because here's the thing. In Bruce Pritchard's NXT, Vicious Vision NXT, he wanted something edgy. So, of course, he has this standout Black Rose trio in Toxic Attraction holding down all the gold because, well, they don't look like prototypical pro wrestlers. They look like, must-see figures. And they all three have incredible talent in ring, though, too. I'm not going to deny, especially Gigi Dolan. She owned that cage match. That being said, the fact they used this whole tag team tournament to just impromptu turn it into a double Money in the Bank cash-in type dealie, adding these two to the title match, and you definitely disgraced the identity of tag team wrestling and what this thing was put together for in the first place. You might as well never do it again. Freaking idiots. That being said, Io Shirai is one of the last remnants of Triple H's NXT, and I see her going up to the other rosters too. And honestly, she might be the one to eat the fall in this as well. Because think about it. Since Mandy Rose has been champion, Cora Jade has already had a chance for the title, fell short. We've seen this developing feud with Kaylee Ray, and I think Kaylee Ray and her have also fought too, fell short. And right now in the Fatal 4-Way, there are no rules. There are no disqualifications. And Mandy Rose has backup in Toxic Attraction. Whether or not their match will be before or after this, that still is yet to be determined. Of course. But regardless how I look at this, you look at the two that was supposed to be centered around, and that's what it's still centered around here. It's Cora Jade, it's Mandy Rose. It's the one-on-one that's going to happen again, and in my personal opinion, by the way, someone encouraged to continue pursuing professional wrestling by CM Punk, the former Elena Black match I had that I used to see on AEW Dark. So congrats to all her success so far in NXT 2.0. That's why I got nothing but respect for her. Cora Jade is a future NXT Women's Champion if booked to be, because I feel she deserves it. But it won't be this weekend. I have Mandy Rose winning, and as far as how she gets the decision, Cora Jade may come close, but she won't be involved in the decision. It's going to lead to Cora Jade and Mandy Rose one-on-one, but for now, Mandy Rose will continue to hold the gold. I got Mandy Rose retaining.
And the Toxic Attraction retain the tag titles?
At this point, there's no other tag team division, and tag team wrestling doesn't matter if we're going to segue into that next match. Right now, they are literally the focal point of Vince's NXT for the entire women's division. I'm going to say, that the Toxic Attraction retains all their gold.
What tag team? Exactly.
Raquel and Dakota are back together.
So here's the thing. Raquel and Cora Jade, impromptu, they had a bit of a fallout. They came together too, and then Raquel and Dakota, I thought they had their fallout in a one-on-one match, and now Raquel's back with Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai still doesn't know who's a friend or enemy. Is she still talking to herself? Did Winnie Chu fall asleep and just went into a coma? I don't know what's going on here, but regardless, I'm going to say all three members of Toxic Attraction retain their gold, and that's all I have to say about that.
And can I say this? I don't know why it just hit me. Are you telling me that Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray, who I distinctly remember was a part of the Tag Team Classic, won the tournament to be a part of this match?
Yep.
That is correct, sir.
Yep.
If you want to hit yourself in the head with a bottle and pull a Simon Miller Mother Effer Y moment, now is the time. But before you do that, let's get JJ and Jeff's thoughts on the tag title match that was just added tonight.
I think he's with
us. It's two things. Number one, this is why the Crockett Cup works and the Dusty Cup doesn't. Number two, it just is what it is. And number two, I agree with the sentiment. The Toxic Attraction, the trio, they all retain across the board this weekend. I mean, if they're not going to reset Manny, they're not going to reset the other two either. So,
no, JJ, go please get us off this.
James about to have a meltdown.
That's a fair point. I didn't think about that. So, I mean, I don't want to be the one to change everything. So
do it. Get into your
I'm going to
ambition.
say that everything will change, but you guys, you've more or less persuaded me. I just don't want everything to be identical. So
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. If you want to be opposite, you might actually win. Who knows? Real quick, I just to point out on Bruce Pritchard's women's division in NXT and the way he books it. I swear to God, it's like it was a former Family Guy writer that never had sex and is a virgin is writing these edgy segments. I swear to God. Like, I've seen these segments. Man, they're not pretty. I mean, I remember, and I'm not even saying this to be a dickhead, by the way. I'm really not. But I want you to take the Mandy Rose that we saw in the WWE during the whole Otis angle and how better her character development was there than what is going on here. And it's like a complete character shift. There's no explanation on why she had the character shift. She just went from complete glamour model who turned into a very nice, personable glamour model still into, I'm a street hooker now.
Oh, jeez. Damn! Oh, wait. Let me get this right.
Why? Where did the change happen? Why did the change happen? There's no explanation to any of it. It just, she's this way now.
Yeah.
And by the way, not that there's anything there with the street hookers, I mean, other than the law, but like still, like, why is she that way? There was no explanation. There was no A, B, and C. They just went from, she was A here. Oh, we're going straight to Z.
Nothing wrong with it. Other than the fact it's illegal in all states, but that's okay.
Perfect. except for Las Vegas.
No, it's actually legal up there too now. All right.
Really?
Anyway,
what the fuck?
Yeah. Later, off air. Focus, gentlemen, focus.
Stay tuned for Open Mic Night, where this will be covered and more. I'm sure.
Open Mic Night after Ring of Honor this Friday. God help us all.
Do we know who the fifth was added to this match?
Apparently, it's mystery then.
Yeah, the last I saw, Roddy and his opponent, but I didn't see who actually won the match. So
I'll look it up real quick. Someone start talking and breaking this down.
James. JJ.
The middle guy is. Middle guy retains. I don't know.
That's it.
To me, with what I've seen develop over the weeks between the build up to this match, it comes down to two people. It comes down to Grayson Waller, and it comes down to Sikoa.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Mello is ready to move on.
Right.
Grayson, I get these Austin Theory vibes from. Yeah. And I'm not saying that to be mean or negative, but just the way he's portrayed and everything. I get these Austin Theory vibes from him. And we see how over Austin has become with the whole, basically being a lackey for McMahon. The Pat McAfee match coming up this weekend, which again we'll get into on Thursday. Don't forget to tune in for that.
There will be plugs. It will happen.
But I see him as a strong contender, but Solo Sikoa, I mean, the way the bloodline is running things on SmackDown, even though they haven't really brought him in as far as the faction goes, I could totally see him getting this belt as an extension of the bloodline dominance.
Yep.
I wish if they really wanted to, just hire J-Fa too, but they won't.
No, because they got Sikoa here. They're good to go. He's the third Uso, so they already got somebody there to fill the spot. I agree with JJ 100%. Without question, we're going to keep running that gimmick on the ground apparently this week. That's okay, as we always do on Dads. But it just makes the most sense. Carmelo looks like he's ready to do his thing and not necessarily go up, but maybe move on to the NXT Championship picture.
I feel like Melo's ready to take that next step to the main title. Whoever has that at the end of this weekend.
So I think we're going to see Sikoa step up and, as you said, extend the bloodline, because I honestly don't know where I'm going to go with the Roman Brock match, even as I sit here now 2 days out for predictions. I don't know where I'm going with that. I do believe the Usos will retain the tag titles, for the record. So I think Sikoa being here whether Roman retains or not, definitely says, okay, the bloodline, we run this joint. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You guys sold me. I'm going to change my prediction to the Samoa guy.
Mr. Foster.
Oh, okay. So they added that tag match to the kickoff. So really irrelevant. Okay, this match.
Okay. Didn't matter shit anyway. There you go.
This match. Grayson Waller, Instagram influencer, meh. Santos Escobar. For the longest time, Legado del Fantasma has been a foundation of both NXTs, it seems. I feel like they're on the verge of finally going up to the other rosters. They really have invested a lot of stock in Carmelo Hayes, and with his running mate Trick Williams, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets involved in this match and help this guy retain, especially since it was the champion that threw out this challenge in the first place. And it being a ladder match. And then you have, I guess, the next guy that's going to go in the bloodline at some point, Solo Sikoa, after coming off a battle against a guy possessed by a demon in Boa, wherever the hell he is.
Right.
I don't see him winning. And then you have Mr. Random, who apparently it was either Karen Grimes or A-Kid or Roderick Strong, and I'm not really sure who won that. But regardless, I don't think Mr. Vacant was going to win this, even if it was any of those three, even though Cameron Grimes definitely had a passionate promo and deserved it. Yeah. Something about this match right now just tells me, especially since the North American title still really hasn't had an identity, but it seems like they really are keeping on this guy for longevity. I'm going to say the champ pulls out the win here and retains.
I love how we just went from great one-on-one matchups to just a bunch of multi-mans. Wow, NXT is really falling off the wagon.
Well, we have a great one-on-one match coming up for you now, James, because it's time.
Hey, finally.
AJ segment of the show, so we'll go ahead and let him go last because this is our guy. Whose show is it? It's LA Knight show. Yeah. And Walter. The dude's name is Walter.
Thank you, Jeff. Respect.
Walter.
I'm going to start.
Please.
LA Knight. He more so because he needs it more than Walter does. If Walter, whether they keep him pairing together, whether they finally do go up to Raw or SmackDown, LA Knight's sticking around. And I dare say they're going to take him and they're going to take the champion and they're going to take Carmelo when he loses the championship this weekend. And they're going to build the brand around those four guys and the NXT championship picture. So, because LA Knight needs to be NXT champion. As much as I enjoyed him being the $1 million champion for reasons I can't even freaking verbalize out loud properly because the connection with Undertaker and Paul Bearer and DiBiase, like, I just want LA Knight, Shawn Ricker, Eli Drake to be the star. He should have been NXT the first goddamn time. And I think this match, beating Walter, which does not get done, will solidify him as, okay, he's a player in NXT.
I agree with you because they have, I'm gonna just say it, first episode of 2.0, they fucked this guy over.
Yep.
Like, big time.
Yep.
And, yeah, he needs to win. If it, like, somehow, I have a gut feeling, but I'm going to go with logic, and but the way WWE books, and the way Vince books especially.
I'm about to say, can you put logic and WWE in the same sentence?
I think LA Knight should win, so I'm going to go with LA Knight. Wouldn't be surprised if Walter wins, and they freaking just give it to Walter randomly for no reason. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I want to see, and so I'm going to go with LA Knight winning, because he should. You need to rehabilitate him, and you need to get him on a good track record with whatever potential audience you're going to grab for Mania weekend or whatever the fuck. So please put LA Knight over. For God's sake, put him over.
Noah?
This comes down to one of two things. Imperium either gets called up, or Imperium continues to be an influence going forward in NXT 2.0. And with Walter, who recently arrived, and this is his first major match underneath this regime of NXT. And we all know Vince loves pushing bigger men.
Yes.
LA Knight has the mic game, the persona to be a top-tier sports entertainer. I can see either of these men going up the road to WrestleMania. But I look at NXT. Who do I see staying down there to do more and maybe become a champion? Right now, I feel like Vince is going to put more stock into NXT in Imperium, whether champs or not. So just looking at Vince type booking, and I see LA Knight being a mainstay on the main roster sooner rather than later, I have Walter pulling out the win. And it won't be easy. I sense shenanigans. Because LA Knight has already been feuding with Grayson Waller, and now he's feuding with Imperium. LA Knight has a lot of enemies. Imperium necessarily doesn't. And the only enemies they have right now are going to be in another match you're probably going to talk about next. So because of all those reasons, I have Walter pulling out the win.
All right. I am legitimately surprised, but I'll go ahead and move on to JJ.
It should be no surprise who I'm going for. I bought the man's shirt. I mean,
I'm not here to influence you. I'm simply stating my case.
Yes, sir.
I think,
And he deserves a win
Jeff
too.
I think Jeff was right on the money. I think Ricker, LA Knight, Eli Drake needs it more. And I said back in the tag match, I see Imperium moving on to bigger and better things. There's no sense in giving Walter, Gunther, whatever, the push if they're going to go up.
Watch, we predicted this, and it's not going to happen. Watch, it's just going to be like, we can't have that now. They predicted it.
Right. We know they watch.
Brother.
We know it's a thing. So, all right. So we're actually. I'm surprised we're divided on this match. Even 3-1. I'm legitimately surprised by that. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. All right.
I've been thinking about this match the most. If that tells you anything.
You know why? You know why? Because it's a no-win situation. Because you fucked both guys up. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
And Jeff wanted this to be the curtain jerk that we talked about. I said we need to put some stank on it, give it the respect it deserved. Semi-main event.
Well, Lord knows WWE
it's one of those where this is very much Star Trek. This is the Kobayashi Maru. This is the no-win scenario because neither man can really afford to lose this match at this point. So it's really going to come down to, a flip of the coin by the old man, unfortunately. And that's a scary thing.
And guess what? That's usually how WWE's been going for the last fucking decade.
Yeah.
And by the way, we needed to put some damn stank on it for sure, JJ, because Lord knows, the WWE sure didn't.
No.
All right, Jeff, the main event.
We're moving on to the main event. And again, I'm going to be so slanted on this one for just all the wrong damn reasons, but it's okay. It doesn't matter because you've got the NXT champion, the man of seemingly destiny, wherever he seems to go and puts the shine on it, Dolph Ziggler against the nephew/son of the most recent announcements for the WWE Hall of Fame, Braun Breaker, of course, the son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of the true loose cannon in wrestling. No, I don't mean Brian Pillman, I mean Scott Steiner. You've got Braun Breaker, who has been, quite frankly, for my money, as a old school. I've got my black and gold NXT shirt in the closet back here still. Old school NXT fan. I have been legitimately surprised and have enjoyed Braun Breaker's presentation. Granted, he's still green as grass. There's no doubt about it. But the kid, listen, it's not going to the kid's not good shit. Don't mind me. But he's got it. And he's got enough of both his uncle and his father where he's going to be a solid persona within WWE if they let him develop right for a long time to come. Did he become champion too fast? I did say yes originally, but having Ziggler and Rude shaft him out of that championship and having what we have on Saturday morning is the exact way to go, because now he's fighting from beneath. He's fighting the establishment and guys that have been in the business for ever. And he's got his uncle and his father going into the Hall of Fame the previous night. He'll probably make the speech to induct them, but you'll give him that shine in them Hall of Fame suits looking all so good. I actually got a question from JJ yesterday about, will he make a good speech? Like, he's speaking from the heart. He doesn't have to cut a promo this time because his promos on TV, they're a little shaky still. But speaking from the heart, the night before the biggest match of his 25 match career is going to be so key for him. Ziggler himself even said the kid's got 20 matches, and it's like he's been doing this for years. He knows he's got all the tools. Saturday, he gets his toolbox assembled, regains the championship.
Now there's two ways this could go. Exactly how you said it, Jeff, where this is obviously the only great match that's going to happen on this show. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. I mean, the two athletes involved, and compared to everything else on this fucking card, and the booking, and the way they've treated NXT, and blah, 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 this is the closest you will get to 2.0 as you could possibly get, because both guys actually know how to fucking wrestle, and they actually know how to tell a pretty decent little story. You can get that, or somehow you can get the Triple H Scott Steiner of the modern day. Oh boy, let's hope that don't happen.
Oh God, why even put that out in the universe? Oh,
listen, with the WWE, don't leave anything out on the table, especially when it's the old man in charge. Is all I'm going to tell you.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point.
For the lowest of lowest of lowest, and I mean of lowest of expectations, and you will never be disappointed. Actually, no, I can't even lie. Sometimes you can be. Fuck. Vince really likes to prove us wrong with that. It's almost like it's a fucking rib at this point. Sorry. Flashback.
Oh, God.
On now.
WrestleMania is gonna be fun.
Focus on this match, man. Focus on this match. You're fine.
I'm honestly gonna go with the Ziggler to retain. I'm gonna go with Ziggler only because I think he might be called up way too soon, because Vince has done that before with the likes of Baron Corbin. It wouldn't shock me if he's gonna do that with Braun Breaker. So I'm gonna stick with Ziggler to retain. So yeah.
JJ.
I've been torn about this match the most.
Yeah.
I really have, because on the one hand, I think it would be a great tribute to his family to win the title back the night after they go in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, I see either Bobby Roode getting involved to help Dolph keep the belt, or potentially Scotty and Rick getting involved and possibly costing Braun the title via disqualification. Because we got to think about it, and the Hall of Famers always get involved somehow, some way in WrestleMania weekend.
It's true.
You're not wrong.
What better way for the Steiner brothers to get involved than in son-nephew's match?
Right.
Granted, it's not on the main stage, but it is a heavy part of the presentation that weekend.
True. Yeah. When you think about it, Jay, do you really want to turn Scotty loose on a WrestleMania show night of night? No. You put him in NXT where you can kind of contain him a little bit better.
There are two things you do not want to have Scotty do. You don't give him a live mic, and you don't ask him to do math.
No.
But anyways.
That's very fair and accurate. That's actually very fair and accurate.
See, when you look at Braun Breaker, you look at Dolph Ziggler, you can see that statement is not true.
That's true, man.
I adore Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth to death.
Yes.
Going back to his days as Kerwin White's caddy, if anybody remembers that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a throwback.
But he has always had it. And I remember when I saw him pop up on NXT to begin this angle, I messaged Jeff and said, "My, how the mighty have fallen."
And I went, nope.
And Jeff enlightened me. He put it a little bit more in perspective for me.
Yes.
And I feel like Jeff is 100% without question accurate about why Dolph was there. And I don't feel like Braun is ready to get it back just yet.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
I think there's still a little bit more work for Dolph to do with Braun before Braun gets it back. Could he get it back to NXT after Mania? Possibly. But I don't see it happening on Saturday. If I'm wrong, I got no problem being wrong because I do enjoy Braun and his presentation, much as Jeff talked about. But Dolph deserves another big moment. And this might just be it for him.
And Noah, before I get to you, not gonna lie, JJ, I selfishly wouldn't mind having a entire group picture of Paradise Kitty with our t-shirts on and NXT Championship just being across all of us. That would just be tremendous. But anyway, Noah Foster.
JJ, you're really putting the retrospective when it comes to grasping for the moment, but also what you really are doing for the business. We've already talked how Dolph Ziggler could sell chairs to IKEA. He is a guy that is there to put over the future of the WWE. He is the show off. He is a top star. He is a seller, period. But everything about this weekend, from the WrestleMania time to the Steiners going into the Hall of Fame, you brought such a passionate backlog to the point why Dolph Ziggler is in this spot in the first place and why it truly shouldn't feel like a transitional period. But I just got to go still back to, again, Braun Breaker's the future of the WWE. Ever since this new NXT formed, he was the first guy that was like, this is the guy that you can use to lead your company in some way or form. Got the look, he's got the character, he's got the charisma, he's got the power. He still needs to fine-tune himself on the mic, and that's probably why he's with Dolph Ziggler, who has incredible mic skills, but we haven't heard a lot of jaw-jacking. But this story does not come down to who talks a bigger game, it's who delivers it when it comes to that moment. And Dolph is going to sell that. But again, Braun Breaker, the Steiners, WrestleMania, NXT 2.0 is literally the Braun Breaker show. If this show is going to matter for absolutely anything, it's got to be that Braun Breaker regains the NXT Championship, in my opinion. And Dolph Ziggler did what he needed to do. And once again, Vince using the other rosters to try and push forward just this brand's identity and the people on it, because this forever will be developmental, but at least Braun Breaker will lead it in a bigger fashion, claiming a win over Dolph Ziggler. I have a new champion.
That's a fair point. I'm going to compare my logic in booking to this to something from many years ago. And again, I keep throwing back to the fact that I've been rewatching Old Dads, but it's something that I heard talked about recently watching those episodes. I'm going to go back to the Bound for Glory series years ago when Dolph's cohort, Bobby Roode, won the series, challenged for the belt, and after all that build and push, they didn't pull the trigger. A couple weeks later, James Storm, out of nowhere, takes the title, and then Bobby gets it off him.
Turning heel in the process.
There has been so much build and push to this being a big moment for Braun. Don't pull the trigger. Give him a couple more weeks to work with Dolph, and then pull the trigger. Because WWE knows everybody is going to fucking buy WrestleMania. But what they need is asses to tune in to NXT for the rematch.
It's a fair point. Again, it really could go either way. This is one of those that literally is a flip of the coin as far as what is the aftermath. How do you make the NXT after WrestleMania a big deal? Do you treat it the same way like Monday Night Raw? Does Vince truly want to turn this into Raw 3.0?
And the other thing you got to figure is that there is no WrestleMania Backlash for NXT. Who knows the next time they're going to get their marquee event? I'm sure they're not going to wait a whole other year for it, but again, whatever the takeovers are now becoming, whatever that next big event is going to be for them, who knows when that is going to be for the rematch. So you need people to tune in to the regular show on a consistent basis. And if this stretches out for a couple more weeks, people are going to tune into that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man.
I got to say, though, you did give another hard sell. You almost had me questioning myself, Noah.
You have J.A., what you and I did tonight is the great NXT main event debate, because either of our cases could literally be a poll that could go 50-50, because both have so much context to them in the fact that they could be a reality. And we will know soon enough who was right. So good luck.
Hey, same to you, sir. To be put in that conversation, that statement, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just hope and appreciate we can get a good match and not a bad match. I don't want Triple H and Scott Steiner. I get worried.
Stop putting that out there, James.
I'm going to keep putting it out there.
James, damn it.
There's got to be that one pessimist that knows. Listen, I have lived through the worst of the worst in the last decade, okay, with this goddamn company. Trust me, from experience, this can happen to even the best of workers here.
He's also not wrong.
I know.
You're out of line, but you're not wrong. Anyway.
I wish I could be sometimes. I wish I could be wrong.
So I wanted to point out, it was pointed out to me in the chat room that Cameron Grimes is the last participant in the ladder match. So based on that knowledge, I will still stick with Sikoa winning, but Cameron Grimes, if I get 2 picks in the pool, Noah, I'm definitely going with Cameron Grimes in my second pick.
No DQ is doing 2 picks, so I will make sure your second pick is
I'll go with Cameron Grimes. Yeah, let's just all go with Cameron Grimes for the second pick.
Because the fact that he was
I had Grayson and Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, that's fair for you.
That's true, you did. That's true. So yeah, it's one of those where Cameron Grimes had like that push off, and then they just didn't. It was very, very stunted and very weird. So that's why I say
I just blame the pandemic for that one, to be honest.
I agree, guys. I agree.
All right,
well, that's that.
So we saw the trailer on the commercial break, but I'll go ahead and run through it really quick. We got a lot of great stuff coming up here. We're not done by any means, folks. Not even remote.
We're barely getting started.
Greg Cherry show tomorrow night, of course, each and every Wednesday. I'm here on the Meacham Network, and we also simulcast on Greg Cherry's brand. Thursday's WrestleMania predictions, and those are at 6 o'clock Eastern, for the record, 3 p.m. Pacific. You'll see the graphic at the end of the show during the credits. I don't have them all queued up here because there's just too much shit in this room right now. So, and then Friday, we've got Dads, the WrestleMania entrances show, and then we get into the watch-alongs with this guy on the call, this guy as a color commentator, and me just trying to keep shit together.
Don't forget, and for those who are WYW fans, I might as well plug this in right now because I don't even think we've made a formal announcement. Michael X, a.k.a. Nathan Farrar, will be color commentating with Noah and I as well for WrestleMania weekend.
Dig it.
Can't say he'll be like Nathan Farrar, but we'll try our best to try to make this event listenable, watchable,
I honestly,
listenable watch.
And again, we'll get more into it Thursday. I think WrestleMania is going to be better executed than it is on paper, at least from my perspective. But we'll talk more about it as we get close.
Yeah,
because we got Ring of Honor watch along Friday night.
Which
Noah's going to be talking about Impact during the course of that show. JJ will be talking about the Hall of Fame during the course of that show. Yes. So we're going to be covering every freaking brand of wrestling and sports entertainment in that Ring of Honor watch along. So be here Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. And of course, Saturday, Sunday's WrestleMania. I mean, regardless of how you feel about the company, and James, we know how you feel about the company. WrestleMania is the weekend of the year. It's why we have so many people coming through the channels. That's why we get so much traffic, because it's Wrestle-Friggin-Mania. So be here for that this weekend. And then we hit the reset button Monday with another Ask the Dad. So thank you all for joining us this tonight. I know we ran completely through NXT, and I appreciate y'all sticking with us if you did. Thank you, JJ. We'll see you Thursday for the predictions. Noah, we'll see you Thursday for the predictions and the rest of the weekend, as well with you, James. for every and Noah and JJ's gone already. Very good.
He gone.
Done with this shit. So that's okay. Thank you all very much for watching today. It is greatly appreciated. We will see you tomorrow night for the Greg Cherry Show and throughout the weekend with WrestleMania, everything, Ring of Honor, all that good stuff right here on the Jeff Meacham Network. Have a great night, everybody.